Hello, everyone. It's me, Kirsten. This is the It's Giving Mystical podcast, and this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of July 10th through the 17th. Okay, so just a reminder. Just a reminder that we're in this chariot and star moment, which means that, yes, there's healing and recovery where that's part of what's happening. So you might find yourself, again, having these little micro conversations, interactions, clarifications, things that were confusing or disorienting, getting themselves worked out, shuffled out. With the chariot energy, there is a consolidation of power. There is something happening that is drawing you into clarity and that the universe is responding to. These small efforts you're making towards clarity are having a bigger impact on your exterior world than you might imagine. There's very rich feedback right now. And while that's lovely, it's also destabilizing in some way. We can feel ourselves kind of carried away by the solar energy that's here. There's just a lot. Again, like we talked about this on the monthly podcast, solar energy, but masculine energy. So a lot of yang energy, a lot of like movement. And when the chariot's with us and the star is with us, we talk about counterbalance a lot when the chariot comes up. We want to kind of counterbalance with that yin energy. We want to make sure that we're not getting carried away one way or the other. Because I didn't say this, but we are still in this fire horse year, right? That's going to be with us. And so that's just movement on movement. And many people who talk about the stretch of 2026 will say that previous to that full moon we just had, there was even though it was fire horse, there was still kind of a little bit of a drag in the system, and that drag gets removed, which is amazing because things progress, but it's also a lot of energy. It's a lot. So masculine, solar energy, fire horse energy, those are like, it's like we're stacking the chips in the direction of the yang energy, and you can almost get carried away. There's so much movement. There's so much being asked of me that the part of me that's more watery and more yin is struggling to find her space, find room for herself. And even my practices and my routines are getting disrupted by all of this motion. It's, knock on wood, it's good things. These are good things. But whether they're good things or they're bad things, they still have a momentum and a demand to them that can feel overwhelming. So I say all of that because the counterbalance energy will be with us in July, and I feel it very much so in this week. And it's subtle. It's a subtle thing of, I'm just going to ride the fire horse. Like, things have to keep moving. And then also this sensation of body and space. In Siren and Mystic Rising, we're talking a lot about, which, I mean, location's been with us all year, but we're talking about this idea of how easily we get put into a place of tightening or external focus. One of the beautiful invitations of Siren energy is to keep coming back to your body, keep coming back to your pleasure, keep coming back to yourself, not just as an experiment, not just as a hedonistic, I just want to feel good, but as a recognition that when I feel my erotic life force energy, I'm also feeling my vital life force energy. And so when I'm disconnected from my erotic sense, my pleasure, my sensuality, I'm actually also disconnected from my power. And so the invitation in Siren is, when I feel myself out there, can I close my eyes and just check back in? Where can I come back to my body? Where can I feel good? Where can I turn myself back on? And it can be something as simple as your breath. It can be just touching your skin for a moment. It can be sinking into a memory or anchoring into something that you know will open you, soften you, bring you back into pleasure, which again is bringing you back into your erotic energy, which again is bringing you back into your life force energy. These things aren't separate. It's a whole other podcast, a whole other conversation, but it's a beautiful invitation. When the momentum is picking up, we can lose ourselves. We can forget ourselves. And so I would just kind of offer that to you in all of July, riding the waves, the momentum, and also cherishing what your body needs, coming back to that watery place of, I just need a minute. I just need to locate. I just need to feel myself. I need to be in my body again, just for these few moments, just for these few seconds, so that I can then re-engage with my heart open, right? Without closing my heart off because it's too much. The energy that we had last week was the Ace of Wands. So again, more fire, more heat, more masculine energy, more kind of at attention. And there is like just I don't know, maybe some of you are just thriving in that energy, but for many of you, there might be this sense of I could soften, I could rest, I could get a little loose right now. And instead I'm being called like up and up and up and out. The energy I have for us this week is the World card. So this is, you guys know this, but I'll just kind of recap for us. In the tarot, right, there's the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana are the inescapable things. You will have to face union in your life. You will have to face death in your life. You will have to face pleasure in your life. And we don't get out without really spending some time with each of the major arcana cards. There's 22 of those. And the World card is the culmination of that part of the tarot. So the World card is the culmination of a chapter. It's an ending. It's a something significant is finished here. And may that be external? Yes. Could that be something internal? Could that be a version of yourself that you've known, a version of living or moving or experiencing life that you've known 100%? But it is an ending. It is something closing, like the gates closing on some chapter. And so that's beautiful. The world says you've spiraled around some topic, some relationship, some experience, some learning over and over again, and you've come to the final gate. You've come to the door where we can say, okay, bow and end the scene there. Thank you so much for that incredible experience. And now I move differently. That is wonderful. And it is sad. All of it comes hand in hand. We have moments where we're like, okay, I'm so ready for something new. I'm so ready for this next chapter. And leaving behind what was, even when it wasn't perfect, it had a certain comfort to it, a certain familiarity to it. And the world is like, we have to be complete with that. We have to be done with that. It comes in very gently. It doesn't come in like an abrupt ending, but it does come in as the image I have is like a kind of soft slide of an ending. So it's like sliding into base, sliding into home base, like finishing that circuit, but in kind of a really gentle, easy way. It has a little bit of a water slide energy. There's something about the movement being not an abrupt ending, but kind of a slide in ending. And when the world comes up, we're just honoring that. We're honoring the fact that life keeps changing, that is the constant in life, that who you are is changing, the environment you're in is changing, the way you relate is changing, the things that light you up, that you feel passionate about are changing, the things that are just dusty and heavy and no longer for you, that's changing. So something could have felt really alive a month ago, it doesn't feel alive anymore, or so important to you 2 months ago, 6 months ago in 2025, and all of a sudden it's lost its luster. Something that felt just off the radar suddenly becomes center, suddenly becomes something that it's critically important. So the world is reshuffling, reorienting, and again, beautiful and challenging at the same time. So much of what we are experiencing right now is rapid. In the shamanic wheel, the last initiation is into Condor medicine. And so for those of us who are walking the medicine wheel in the cycle with Stephen, we're finishing up our hummingbird initiation, and we're moving into Condor initiation. And one of the things that's really become apparent to me is that the movement from hummingbird to Condor is about altitude adjustment. So we say that we want to move differently. We do the therapeutic or the energetic work to prepare ourselves, or for that to even be a possibility. And then we integrate, and then we give ourselves time to adjust to the new atmosphere. In shamanism, they say you can't think your way into Condor, and that's alive whether you're walking the medicine wheel with us or not. There's something about this movement, this evolution, this pivot point that we're in this fire horse year, is this movement towards alignment over effort, is something that we can understand consciously. We can write in our journals about it. We can pray on it. We can manifest for it. We can have this idea that, oh, I want to effort less, and I want to, move with more fluidity, more alignment. I want to allow the world to hold me and love me. I want to allow the ancestors to feed back into me. I want to have a sense that I'm not doing this on my own anymore. I want to feel myself connected to something larger. You can say all of those things. You can move with those things. We can make art around those things. But there's, at some point, this is again the beauty and the pressure point of being incarnated, is our bodies. Our bodies have to learn, have to be recalibrated to operate differently in the world. And so much of walking the medicine wheel is the transmutation of the hucha, the heavy energy, into light energy. And the other thing that really has come up for me in these past couple of weeks, just thinking about moving into this initiation, is we really don't recognize how much of the past we carry in our bodies. So we have this energy of our ancestors, of the stories that have been told through our bloodline, through humanity, through our cultures, and we carry that. We carry this kind of heaviness, this kind of inherited epigenetic heaviness. And when you do initiation work, you do energy work, you are working with your family system, you're working with your energy body. One of the things that you're doing is you're transmuting that heavy energy, that density, into something light. Another way to say that is we're putting down what is not ours, what doesn't belong to us anymore. And while that's incredibly liberating, it just takes time. It takes time to see your own face. So much of what we're seeing is projection, even as we gaze into the mirror, even as we look at our own lives. And so to begin to really soften that, to allow yourself to trust on a deeper level that what is enough, something about that requires your body a minute to catch up. What is it like here now in this body? And that, again, is happening for those of us in the shamanic initiation, but it's also happening for all of us, I think, collectively. And so I guess my point is that in this World Week, it might be that you notice some significant ending in how you approach things in a relationship, in a situation, in a community, in a way of thinking. But it also might be that you just kind of feel yourself different in the world. It could be something much harder to articulate and much more of an experiential sense of, oh, wow, I don't do that the way I did. It might be that you face something you faced 100 times before, and it's like, oh, wow, I'm not who I was. Or you might find yourself having a conversation like, I've been here before. And all of a sudden you just notice that you're holding it so differently. It could be that something that you were very synced into suddenly doesn't match you anymore. So it can show up in lots of different ways, but it just feels like recognizing that there's a significant ending and a significant closure this week. And the beauty of that is that there is now a significant new horizon, new possibility on the map for you. And there's something to honor and to recognize, and that it's hard to make changes. It's hard to begin something new. It takes courage. And so just honoring the part of you that is brave and staying gentle with that. And again, there's a lot to do right now. But physically, the 3D wise, it can feel very demanding. But your work is to stay soft in these kind of larger dimensions. So it's like demanding, yes, but how am I feeding myself on an energetic level, on a soul level, so that I have what I need to go the distance? And oftentimes, and particularly right now, that's going to be less about efforting and more about being honest about what's aligned and what's not aligned. Like, where do you need to be? You might like where you need to be, and you might be like, for example, my children home, 3 incredibly different schedules, 3 different cadences, but all in and out of my space. And I'm having a hard time staying anchored in my own practice and what I need. It's just very easy for me to be with them for so many reasons. And there's something really important about recognizing there's a way in which I have to surrender to that. And there's a way in which I have to hold my pose in that, like anchor myself into that and not lose myself in that. And so that's an example of, is that what I would prefer right now? No. Is alignment wise, is that what my life is rich with right now? Yes. And so there's something interesting about, again, it's a subtle thing of, I choose this, I want to be here. This is where I'm meant to be. This is kind of the culmination point of so many years of mothering, and it's shifting, and I have to kind of stay present with it. Would it be easier to go elsewhere? Probably. But this is where I'm called to be. And even that tension, that frustration, I can feel it in my jaw of the part of me that is emerging to live a different way in my own life, and the part of me that is finishing up what needs to be finished. And not that I'm done mothering, but this way of mothering, this chapter in my life is changing. And so it's like holding both the richness of this ending and the excitement of the beginning, and feeling how they are woven together, how they actually like are dependent on each other, and that I kind of can't have one without the other. But John Wineland used to say this to me: the quality of your beginnings is 100% determined by the quality of your endings. And they were talking about it from a relational standpoint. Like, don't make a mess at the end of a relationship, because you bring that mess into your next thing. Be clean and clear when you end something, so that you can be clean and clear when you begin something. But it's like this in all things, not just in, intimate relational space. Okay, I hope that was helpful. That felt a little meandering. But the World card is big energy. It's a significant ending. This is not a minor arcana ending. This is the universe saying, like, and seen in a pretty big way. So I hope that you have the support you need for that. I hope you remember to counterbalance. I hope you let yourself be carried away in a way that feels good and aligned without losing yourself in that momentum. And I can imagine that some yin energy would serve everyone well. So a little child's pose, a little relaxation, a little submerging in the waters, like all of that's going to be good medicine for all of us right now. All right, I will talk to you soon, and so much love.